Live from the Scripps Studios, this is 10 News.
The Empire State Building lit up in purple and gold tonight in honor of Kobe Bryant. New York is just one part of the world paying respects after learning of yesterday morning's tragic helicopter crash in Calabasas. Good evening, I'm Kimberly Hunt.
And I'm Steve Atkinson. That crash killed the basketball legend, his 13-year-old daughter, and 7 others who were on board. ABC's Elena Gomez has more on the investigation into the crash.
As fans pay their respects to basketball legend Kobe Bryant in downtown Los Angeles, just north in Calabasas, National Transportation Safety Board crews are investigating the helicopter crash.
Unfortunately, we've had an inordinate amount of interest in accessing the crash site by unauthorized personnel, so we are now patrolling the area on horseback.
The NTSB now asking residents to send in photos of what the weather looked like on Sunday morning at the time of the crash.
How thick was that fog?
It was thick. Imagine jumping into a pool filled with milk and opening your eyes.
Fog was so heavy that morning that Los Angeles police grounded their helicopters. It's still unclear if the weather played a role in that crash. All 9 people on board the helicopter were killed. The group headed for Kobe Bryant's 13-year-old daughter's basketball game. The pilot, Era Zobayan, had been flying for 20 years, according to the company he trained with. Also on board, John Altobelli, a baseball coach, his wife Carrie, and their 13-year-old daughter, Alyssa. Kristen Mauser, an assistant basketball coach and mother of 3, also part of the group.
How do you tell a child their mommy's no longer with us?
Fans at the Staples Center, Kobe Bryant's home for many years as a Laker, remembering the basketball legend for the man he was.
He was the mayor of LA to me. And so, like a lot of people are saying, today's the day that part of LA died.
The NTSB plans to be at the crash site for 5 days. The debris is spread over a wide area, about 500 to 600 feet. Elena Gomez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And tonight, Lakers star LeBron James finally broke his silence on Kobe Bryant's death. Just hours ago, he posted an emotional tribute on Instagram. It starts by saying, "I'm not ready, but here I go." LeBron then mentions continuing Bryant's legacy, saying it is his responsibility to keep it going. LeBron surpassed Bryant just Saturday night to become the 3rd highest scorer in NBA history. Bryant's last public statement was a tweet congratulating LeBron on that achievement.
A longtime member of the Lakers broadcast team is sharing a side of Kobe Bryant that few got to see.
Everybody felt like they had a connection with him because he always made time. He didn't big time people.
Jeff Biggs traveled with the team as host of the Lakers pre- and post-game shows, and during that time he got to know Bryant well. He says he remembers Kobe stopping practice to come over and see pictures of his newborn baby, a special moment for a first-time dad. Biggs thinks that Bryant matured after becoming a parent himself and was just beginning a new phase.
The tragedy is that he wasn't finished. I mean, he was only 41, and he was just kind of getting started for this second half of his life.
He says Bryant was dedicated to his family and to continuing to inspire others.
The flight logs show Kobe Bryant's helicopter did make several stops at Gillespie Field in El Cajon and McClellan Palomar Airport in Carlsbad over the last few months. The most recent visit was January the 7th. It also made a brief stop here on New Year's Eve, arriving in from San Diego from LA around 7:44 p.m. before departing back to John Wayne Airport around 8:30. It's not known if Bryant was a passenger on any of those San Diego trips. We have comprehensive coverage of the death of Kobe Bryant on 10news.com, including a timeline of events, detailed information on the helicopter involved, and a gallery of pictures of Kobe Bryant through the years.
San Diego County could have its first case of coronavirus. Health Department officials say they should know for sure by tomorrow. And in the meantime, precautions are being taken all over the county as concern grows. 10 News anchor Lindsay Pena is live with what's being done and what you need to know. Lindsay?
That's right, Kim. So far, the coronavirus has killed more than 80 people in China and sickened thousands more. And even though this has people on high alert, doctors are quick to point out that the risk for most people is very low.
So far, at least 5 people in the U.S. have tested positive for the coronavirus. One of those in Orange County. Now, San Diego may be next on the list.
They're very close, so it's a matter of not if, but when.
Dr. Wilma Wooten with the County Department of Health and Human Services confirming Monday there is a potential case of the coronavirus in our region.
We would really hone in on where has that person traveled in San Diego. We know where they've traveled from Wuhan.
The new version of the virus originated in the Chinese city of Wuhan. Wooten declined to say which hospital the person is in or release any details about their age or gender. The virus presents itself with symptoms such as fever, cough, and difficulty breathing. Wooten says it can lead to pneumonia.
Wash your hands frequently and properly. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or your mouth after you've been touching items out in the community.
Wooten says if you haven't traveled to China or been in contact with anyone who has, then your risk is low. But there are people traveling every day or who have connections to China. UCSD has more than 5,600 students from China. And although flights coming into Tijuana from Beijing will stop temporarily over the next few months because of construction, a plane did arrive today. But officials are assuring the public they're taking every precaution.
We're taking these very seriously.
Now, once again, that suspected case has not been confirmed yet. Health officials here tell us they expect to have those test results back by tomorrow. We're reporting at the Department of Health and Human Services. Lindsay Pena, 10 News.
Yes, something we will stay on. Thank you, Lindsay. Breaking news now, a driver has been arrested after taking a turn too quickly and launching their car into the Chula Vista Marine. Our 10 News breaking news tracker is on the scene near Sandpiper Way. Police say the incident happened just before 9:20 this evening. Both the driver and her passenger were taken to the hospital. It's not clear if drugs or alcohol were involved.
This is ridiculous for an area like Fallbrook to have this kind of problems in it. You've got to get control of it somehow or another.
Parents voiced their concerns at a school board meeting. This comes after this massive brawl broke out at Fallbrook High School just last week, leading to several student arrests. Our 10 News reporter Anthony Pura is in Fallbrook, where there was another fight today.
The superintendent confirmed there was a fight today involving two girls, but nothing like the brawl that happened on Friday. Parents came to the school board meeting tonight asking school officials what they're going to do to prevent future fights on campus. This video captured the melee at Fallbrook High School. Several seen throwing punches, roughly 20 students involved, 10 were arrested.
This is ridiculous for an area like Fallbrook to have this kind of problems in it.
A handful of passionate parents came to Monday's school board meeting to get answers. This woman said her son is afraid to go back to class.
He feels the fights could break out. They're constantly breaking out. The staff can't stop all the fights.
Many want more security.
And if it requires an administrator to lose their job to have an extra security staff, great. I'm all for it.
The superintendent says counselors are available for students impacted by Friday's fight. They also say more staff will assist with supervision between classes and lunch. They're also reminding students they can spend breaks at the library and career center, places with constant adult monitoring. But parents also had one other question.
You got kids on probation. Why are they in a regular school if they're on probation?
The superintendent says that has to do with state law, confirming that some of the students involved in Friday's brawl were on probation. The students booked into juvenile hall are facing charges for probation violation and battery. Some students hold parents responsible.
We can't blame the school for how the children are behaving because they spend the majority of their time at home being grown up by their parents.
The superintendent says they're investigating into what started the fight. They're hoping to have some clarity by Wednesday. In Fallbrook, Anthony Pura, 10 News.
Democrats are ramping up the call for new witnesses and documents in President Trump's impeachment trial. This comes as the president's legal team delivered its opening arguments for a second day. Attorney Jay Sekulow reiterated the president's previous claims that he was acting in the interest of the United States when he made the now infamous July 25th phone call asking Ukraine's leader for a favor.
The president was at all time acting under his constitutional authority.
But the New York Times is reporting that former National Security Advisor John Bolton wrote in an upcoming book that Trump told him he wanted to withhold military aid from Ukraine until it committed to investigating rival Joe Biden. Democrats are demanding that Bolton testify. Some Republicans, such as Mitt Romney, say it's becoming more likely.
A man who terrorized homeless San Diegans in 2016 will spend life behind bars. Today, John David Guerrero pleaded guilty to 15 felony charges, including murder, assault, and arson. In all, he killed 3 homeless men and 1 elderly woman. Our 10 News Breaking News Tracker was there when police arrested Guerrero in July after months of his brutal attacks. Prosecutors say that his weapons of choice were hammers and railroad spikes.
Mr. Longley was sleeping at Robb Field, was also attacked in the head with a railroad spike and died.
Guerrero suffers from mental illness but was deemed mentally competent to stand trial. He will be back in court in May, where he is expected to be sentenced to more than 4 consecutive life terms.